Alright, we are live and with a good connection. Just gonna wait for people to chime in, and I need to put everything into silent mode. I don't want to be hearing all these bings and bings. And where's the do not disturb here? There we go. Okay. Hey, hello Radoslaw, welcome. Welcome, welcome. So this one is working there. I can see that this is stream and this is okay. We're sending upstream the correct page and the correct screen. So how's it going, man? Are you also locked in home and working from home and all that stuff with this craziness with the coronavirus? Hey, hello Oleg, welcome buddy. I was just asking, are you guys, in case you missed it, Oleg, are you guys also locked in at home, working from home and all that, with the craziness with this virus going on? It is what it is, man. I mean, think about it this way. It is a bad situation, okay? So you ask yourself two questions. Can you fix it? Yes or no? Alright, so if you can fix it, then why worry? You're gonna fix it. If you cannot fix it, then why worry? Because no matter what you do, there's nothing you can do to fix it. So, yeah, just smile and things will get better at some point. So all we have to do is just, you know, move forward. Hello, Bruno. Welcome, buddy. So, you know, let's just hang out and just do some programming. Have a virtual beer. I have coffee here, so it's not beer, but hey, it works. And indeed, there is so much time for programming. We're all stuck inside and nothing you can do. So you're gonna program. For those that have kids at home, then that's gonna be a little bit interesting because kids usually need to go out and run and this and that, and of course with school closing, it makes it interesting. So yeah, it's really cool stuff. Do you guys have any ideas what you want to do? Something I wanted to do a couple of things with regards to Phalcon. I know that we got a ping from one of our members with regards to something missing from the docs. So we're gonna fix that, and then move on with whatever we want to do. I mean, I don't mind. So let me quickly go here to. I know that the issue was opened, so I think it was the migrations missing from the menu. There you go, that one. Maybe some mistakes. Okay. Alright, so let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have any pull requests, right? Okay, so maybe some mistake on the new docs. I find that dispatcher events listed are not the same. The events same for both CLI. Let me see more. Alright, I'll fix that in a minute. Guys, see whatever you got, whatever you want. Alright, so by all means, I'm just goofing around here. Alright, so PH Jester says we have a problem with the example. Alright, so first things first, let's open the new window. Let's open the documents. Do a pull here. Alright. There's a little bit up. Okay, so we're looking at the DB models relationships. Hey Chris, welcome from Philadelphia. So you're a relative, my neighbor. I'm in Delaware. So you're looking a little bit left and up on the map. The way we are. So let's go and have a look at this. DB models relationships. DB models relationships, and we need to find, let's find this. Close this guy. Okay, so this one is correct, has many invoices X products, and then products. Okay. Where else is that? Okay. I think it's this one. So this one has many. There's the problem. So in these examples we have hey, Chris is from Croatia. That's awesome. And I know that Oleg and Radoslav are also ex-Eastern Europe, somewhere there, Russia, Romania, all the way down there. So you guys are up late-ish. So it's what? It's 5 o'clock here, so you're looking +7. It's getting late down there. You guys are all hardcore programmers. My gosh. Alright, so we have invoices, which has a many-to-many here. So invoices goes to invoices products, and then goes to products, which is yeah, Warsaw, exactly. Sorry, Radoslav, I kind of didn't remember, but I know Oleg is somewhere there, either Ukraine or Russia, somewhere there, maybe, or maybe I'm wrong, but still, you know, the time difference is pretty much the same. You guys are 6 to 7 hours ahead, so yeah, there you go. Alright, so this is invoices to products, and this one has the two belongs. So the products, in order to go to where? I need to make sure that this is 10 p.m. Alright, so the products needs to go to, you see, that's the difficult part. We can do the other way around. We can do the... So, we can do this in here. So, invite D will be there, PRD will be there, this will be up there, and this one will be invoices. Okay, so has many to many invoices X products, PRD, sub product, PRD, and invoice. Okay, so you can do also this. How are we gonna... The first parameter indicates the field. The second, the name. The third one, the field name and the reference model. You could also use your arrays to find multiple fields in the relationship. Many-to-many require 3 models and define... Let's put something here. Hey Rude, welcome back, buddy. Yeah, it is really awesome. We're pretty much globally. Hey Chelip. So we got Root is in the Netherlands. So we got the Central Europe sorted out. We got the Eastern Europe sorted out. We got the US sorted out. And yeah, so far we got that part all the way down. Alright, so we'll leave that there, and then that will have invoices to products and parameters. Okay, that should fix this part. Let's put a comma here, make it a little bit better. There are times, comma, where a lot of commas we forgot. Relationships need to be defined. Okay, so this one looks alright. Get terminal, get s, get add. This 2689. Yeah, there you go. We got Latvia as well. Yeah, man, just keep yourself safe, and at least we have the internet here, and we can just stay in touch and code. I mean, staying home, unless you're starving from food, you should be okay. So let's keep everybody safe. It seems that this thing should be coming down in the next month or so, so we'll see how it goes. So let me copy this thing. Copy. So what I'm gonna do is right here, resolve in this. That's the commit. Yeah, that didn't work. Why didn't it work? There you go. we got it from here. So this one is that. So let's close this issue. So we fixed that one. Let's put a thingy. And then thank you. To what you're to what you were saying, Rude. I also had the same thing with relationships as well as with relation and ships. So if you want to play with the words as well, but if we're talking about programming, there's always a question: where do you start, and whether you actually need what do you need? To Bruno's point, which just came up in this, and now I realize what others call quarantine. This is my daily workflow. Yeah, I work from home as well, so it's pretty much the same thing. I'm just going downstairs, start my computer, keep on working, and then just go upstairs. The only difference for me is that there are times that I have little kiddos running around and it's a little bit louder than normal, but other than that, it's just a normal day. So coming back to the relationships, just a little tip that on what I usually do is I look at what my workflow is. So if I want to go from a customer has many invoices, I will do one customer, many invoices. But then if I want to traverse that from the invoice to the customer, of course that's going to be a one-to-one, right? So I could potentially put belongs to on the invoices or has one straight up. So that's pretty much how I do the relationship. I actually build them as I go along. It's not that I build the models and immediately I put the relationships in. I build them as I go along with depending on my needs. Sometimes I might leave models without any relationships to others because I don't need them. So there's no point. All right, so we have another one here from Edgar. Hey, there's Edgar from Latvia. All right, so the DB migration sections can be found on the side menu. So you do not know about it when it's missing. All right, so let's figure out where this thing is. It should be in the metadata files, the JSON files. So I think it's meta topics. Let's find okay, validations, transactions, models. Let's find the dev tools because this one relates a little bit more with the dev tools. Yeah, I figure out what you were talking about, Rude. Personal relationships versus relationships up here in the code. All right, so I was thinking where it says here development tools to put the migrations, or hold on a sec. What do we have in the DB migration? Do we have this that is its own package? We do, don't we? Behaviors. Yep, excellent. Okay, so what we can do is we don't necessarily need to put it in the we don't really need to put it in the under DevTools. We can put it under the database because it makes more sense to have this under the database, so to speak, or the ORM. So services, database. Okay, DB layer, PHQL, ODM, models, behaviors, cache, events, metadata. At the bottom, maybe, or I don't know. Where do you guys want it? Any ideas? So this one will be somewhere here, and it will be migrations, and it will be DB. So just choose where you want it, and we'll make it happen. Everybody fell asleep in the chat. No, I'm just messing. Around 16 of us right now. So for those that kind of like missed it, what we have is we have an issue here by our friend Edgar's that was looking for the DB migrations and it was not in the links. So we gotta add this link here in the menu, and the menu is a JSON file. So Rudy is talking about we should add a section tools. You're making my life miserable, mister. You're making things difficult for me. All right, so we have a joking apart. We have something called utility. We have development tools, which will have dev tools and debug, and we could put migration. General has just introduction, release notes, upgrade, and sponsors, right? So that's the introduction. If we are gonna put it, as you mentioned, in some sort of a tools menu, then what we could do is we could take it out of the DB part and put it here under migrations. So you have in the development tools, you have dev tools, debug, and migrations. If you want to put it under tools. I don't really like having it in two places, but sure, if you guys want to, I'm happy with it. So leave it there, move it down to the DB, or where did that yes come? Where did that yes relate to, Rude? Keep it in two spots. Okay, so DevTools is in the right place. We got one vote for that. In development tools, rather. Alright. Okay. So let's leave that there then. Now, here's the tricky part. How do we put this on every language? So this one is here. Alright. For these languages, here, 1, 2, 3, it will happen automatically from crowded, but there's also some other stuff here. There's some JSON here that we need to play around with. So let me do this first, and I'll explain what that is. In 3.4 it was in the database section, and added to the development tools, and let's point it out. Well, you know what, let's do this. Let's help everybody by just putting it here, DB migrations, which is fine, and then underneath, let's say pagination, just put migrations there and you're good to go. So you got it in two spots. It helps the people in that remember things from 3.4 documentation. It helps new people. It's just the same page, so we couldn't care less. So it's migrations here and migrations here. So this is a tool, a development tool, and it's also DB related. So we're good. For migrations. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to send this up. And now that this one is up, here's what happens. For those that are just interested in this, let me just make the page a little bit bigger and just show you a couple of things. Alright. So if you guys remember, we discussed about all of our sites other than the forum. They're handled by Netlify, and these are all static sites. It's just pure HTML. There's nothing crazy about each site. For certain sites, such as the blog or our documentation, we also have injected Algolia as the search in order to find things easier. But that has nothing to do with the site. It's still a static site. So in order to build this site, we have a few files in certain folders here, and we're using Jekyll. That's the engine that generates the static content. Okay. Now, in order for us to generate the correct version of the documentation for different languages, what we do is we have a folder here, the 4.0, and under that we have an EN folder, and under that we have every single page of the documentation. So speaking of migrations, we have this page which contains markup, but it also contains a special section at the top, which is called front. You usually know it as front matter. That's how they refer to it, and it has some metadata here that helps the engine generate the files. So it tells you here what language it is, what version it is. It has a special title, and it has different keywords. And in some other pages you might see different things. So if I go and I open exactly the same page in the Greek one, and don't expect me to have that translated, I did not. So if I open the DB migrations one, you'll see it says ELGR here. That's the language, and then it just moves on with whatever it needs to move on. And we're clearly missing this part here. All right, I have to figure those out. But still, oh no, it's here. Why? There you go. So it's the same content in both. It's just that the Greek one has a few more lines here. So that's how it knows which language you're in, which version you're in, and so on and so forth. Now the problem is not necessarily these pages, because any Greek translation comes here into these documents, and any German one comes in this, any Czech one comes in this, and so on and so forth. So the source is English, and it keeps getting what should happen in order to see better? Hold that thought, Shell. I'll tell you in just a sec. All right, so all these are coming from Crowden, the little folders here with every single file. But the problem is, this is the content. This 4.0 and 3.4 are the content, and the site is above that. So in order for me to show the menu in a different language, I have to have a different structure. And in order to have a different structure, what it is, I created a JSON file, which has the normal thing. I mean, we've seen this in numerous places in PHP. So you have a text and a URL, and there's a little loop in the static page generator that creates this thing. It creates the tags, the li and ul and all that stuff. But in order for that to be created, I need to have the translations for every one of those. So what happens is there's another little script that here, this one, the update data, that goes in. Is it this one here? No, that's for the pages. So PHP update. That's fine. It just didn't work, or it did it. So let's see. It does. Nope, actually it didn't do anything. Oh yes, I didn't do anything because the base path is wrong. I guess like this. That should work. Alright, so it started processing the languages. You see here, different one processing this, that, the other. Alright, let me just revert that stuff back. So it has done something. So if I do git merge tool, or diff tool rather. Alright, so let me just bring this up here. We don't really care about this part. This is the submodule, but it's kind of bringing everything in. So this is what this one is doing. It's actually changing certain things according to what happened in the relevant language. It actually copies it. So this change here in the Czech language, it actually brings it at the top so that you can work with a Czech translation, so on and so forth. Now this is not a great example because it's just a URL change. Same thing with this. Same thing with that. Oh, actually we had something there. All right, so we have a change here, and then on this one you see we have the migrations here, and then we have another one here. This is REST advanced, so this one was not copied over. So it's bits and pieces that gets copied from here to there, and it is a little bit of a mess, but for now it actually works. We haven't been able to make it perfect. Again, for instance, it actually brings the translations over from one to another. Okay. Okay, so let me just close that. Hopefully it's gonna break, and I don't know how to break it. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Right, so you see some differences here with what's in the Japanese and what's not. So we're gonna have to look into those. Oh, come on, man, really? Let me Control C. There we go. Okay, so I have to figure out exactly what is going on here. Probably I'm gonna have to revert the changes here because I don't want to mess up with any translations, and then bring them in. Now back to what Chell was asking. So the way this happens is, hold that thought on that. So what we're doing is we're using crowdin, right? So am I logged in? Yes. Okay. So you go to Phalcon documentation and you mention Spanish, right? I'll just demonstrate this with Greek because I have no idea about Spanish. So what happens is I go here to the Greek part and I pick one. Okay, so let's say I'll pick up the collection. Okay, so this thing opens, and I'm actually looking at different things, and I'm saying, all right, well, might be able to translate something here or here. All right, so this one is translated. I don't remember me doing it, but hey, that's fine. That's fine. And then we have this part here, right? Let's find something something easy. Sorry, guys. I need to make sure that I hide this. So that's Let's find some stuff here. All these should have been hidden, but I never got it properly done. Man, why can't I find something easy to translate? Sorry guys. Alright, I found something. Oh man, I already had it. Okay. So, this one is transformations, right? And I just put something like metamorphosis, which is the transformation. Okay. So it says here translated 5 months ago by me. Right? That's great. Now, this is fine. The problem is that you see this little thing is not approved. So as such, the actual string is not approved by a proofreader, and there's certain people that are proofreaders into the project. So the minute I click, well, I'm one of them anyway. The minute I click on OK, you will see that it says here approved a few seconds ago by me. Now, Crowdin knows that this has been approved. It has been looked after by a couple of people. And then it will actually push it towards a repository, right? So in the, let's say, if I go here and go to Spanish, right? You see Emilio has translated some things, right? And we don't have a translation here, Alright, so Emilio translated something, but because Emilio is also a proofreader, he actually approved it also. So if there's some things that could be done, and I don't know how busy Emilio is right now, because I remember before this craziness with coronavirus started, he was getting really busy. But it is what it is. So that's what we're looking for, where it says translated and approved. So Shell, you might, or Shell, I might be wrong with the name there, apologize. What we do is first we translate it, and then somebody else comes over and looks it up and translates it. Now, if there's somebody missing in action, I mentioned that Emilio could potentially be busy and all that stuff. Send us a quick note. We'll figure it out. There's quite a few people that can speak Spanish and can proofread that. You know, worst case scenario, we just make you a proofreader because we don't know anybody else. So if you put swear words in there, we wouldn't know. but you know, joking apart, the reason for the proofreader is because we had serious problems in the past. There is some sort of a project that gives you Bitcoin or cryptocurrency if you're translating on open source, right? And of course, some people just found that out and started going and started translating like crazy. Okay, so in less than a week, we had something like 20 to 30 people just coming over and translating in Indonesian, in Tagalog, and God knows what. And they were all asking to become proofreaders because what they wanted to do is through that program, they wanted to show to that program, hey, I translated all these things and now you can give me some crypto, right? The problem is that most of these people didn't know what they were translating. So to give you an idea here in this example, they would come over and translate this whole piece of code. They would translate the word collection, which is the namespace, right? They would translate the word new. Come on, man. This is code. You don't translate code. You translate the words. So thank God we didn't make them proofreaders at the time. So we've been very careful in who is doing this, who is submitting, if you like, translations. And you will see here, and I did it in a little bit earlier, you see here up here it says hidden. So for every piece of code, I try to hide it so that people do not have the ability to translate it. So this one, for instance, it's not translatable, it's just code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide it. And then as well as this one here, I have a lot to do on this. I have to go through every single document and just figure out where the code is and just click on it like this and then hide it. So then translators do not see it or cannot translate it, and it keeps the uniformity of the documentation. Otherwise, you might be tempted to try and translate this. You know, for the most part, most people just don't. But I'm just saying. So there you go. So this one is hidden, and then that's hidden, hidden, hidden. This part here, for instance, this needs to be hidden, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this part. So yeah, that's how this thing goes. And since I did approve something from the Greek translation, you will see that Crowden will start doing a pull request to our repository, to the docs repository, and then that translation will come down to the documentation. Then once the site gets built, you will see the metamorphosis or transformation, translation, or whatever that thing was. So yeah, man, that's the deal. I've been translating code as it is. I mean, just copy and paste. Yeah. I mean, don't bother with the code at all. It doesn't really offer anything. A code is code, right? And we've tried a lot to make the code so that it doesn't have words in it. So if you look here, for instance, all right, let's take this. I don't know if I can. There you go. I can expand this a little bit. You see this part of the code here. Actually, let me unhide it so that we can see it. All right. So this top part, all right, above the word transformations. You see, it's just normal code. It has some strings in there. Red, white, blue, whatever. And then where we say echo serialize, we actually have the echo, what it would be. So this is not translatable, it's just a printout in terms of the code is concerned. So we try to keep comments outside any code fragments that we have and explain what is going on with the code a little bit further down in the text. This way, when you decide to translate, then you can translate it there instead of messing up with the code, right? Any code fragment. So let me just rehide this, and then that should pretty much do it at the bottom. There you go. That's another last part. There you go. Hide string, and we're good. So this one is, and the good thing is that I'm an admin, and if I do this here, let's say in the Spanish language, it happens in all languages. So these are going to be hidden in Greek and in Czech and in God knows what, whatever other parts we have, right? So let's see. We have events here, database migrations there. All right, let's do the migration part here. Actually, I need to go and do the text. So let me just do a rollback because I really don't want to mess things up here. Oh shoot. Okay. So I don't really need these guys. Come on. So these are the new feature request list. This one gets calculated automatically from the GitHub issue. So let's take this thing out of there. So I want to roll back, so these are gonna be gone. Okay, and then let's do again git rollback. So these are all have all changed a little bit. This is the blob master. My problem is that some of them actually did change, and I don't want them to change. So the home, as you see here, there's some English here and some Japanese that came in. So I need to make sure that all these are correct. So all these, the Japanese ones, came from the translations, right? Let's see, did I do anything in the Greek part? Nah, lazy bum. Oh, there you go. Rest, advanced. I just put the word prohorimeno there, which is great, but it's not that great. All right, so let me update these guys, because they actually did bring in some translations. Not many, but they brought some. All right, there's Rust tutorial. Okay. So git s, git add, updating menus, sidebar, and docs. So what happened now is I've actually added everything in there, and it did add the data, right? Yes, it did add those. So what's gonna happen right now is here in the docs repository, we're gonna have a pull request in a sec, or should have one. You see where it says what is that, L or I10N40? That branch, this branch that you see here, is automatically created by Crowdin, and Crowdin now compares what we have and compares what is going on, and then after that comparison, it creates a pull request so we can just bring everything in. That's perfectly fine, Chell. That a lot of people declare variables in Spanish. That's perfectly fine. The way you so here's the thing. You have first the parts of the framework that are English, right? So the word class is class. It's always going to be class. Okay, that's actually comes from PHP. But for instance, in Phalcon, you're going to have the request object. It's not going to be the word request in Spanish or in German or in Greek. It's going to be the word request in English. Okay, now for you that are not a native English speaker, just like I am, you could potentially name a variable to whatever you want, right? The only thing that you have to worry about is who is in the audience. All right, is this your application that you're gonna be dealing with, and that helps you? Perfectly fine. But if you have, let's say, Radoslav, who's also gonna be contributing, then things might be a little bit tricky, because he might not know the English or the Spanish stuff. Equally, he could write something in Polish. Right? I was trying to remember where Warsaw is. Sorry. he might create a model with the word invoice in with Latin characters, but in Polish, right? Or then I might contribute and I might write the word the customer in Greek, so but with Latin characters. So it becomes a Tower of Babel. So you have to look at your what your audience is. Now, for us, the easiest thing to do is just to keep the languages in the examples in an English language with English variables. I know that a lot of people do it. It's entirely up to them. And I think, wasn't it Cumbia PHP that did manage to change every single function with their Spanish equivalent? So when you were doing index controller, you would do index blah 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 controller in Spanish. I think there was a Andrés Gutierrez, the father of Phalcon. He created a framework before that. And I think it was Cumbia. So anyway, all right. Let's have a quick look here. This one is opening. Let's go to, where is it? Okay, this is our. Let's exit the editor. This is crowd-in, all right, and this is something that you guys are not seeing that much of. Clearly, I got elevated privileges. That's why I see it. So the things that you see here, the green and the blue. The blue is what has been translated. The green is what has been approved. So you see that there's good traction here. You know, approvals and all that stuff. And this is the interesting part: the meta topics and meta home. The home contains all the strings that the documentation site shows you. And the meta topics controls the right side menu. This is what we changed a minute ago, right? But if I go to the project settings here and I go to the integrations, right, so you see here the little twisty thing. So it's synchronizing. It actually did a pull from our repository. It got notified. So what it does is now it actually checks every single language with the source, and then it checks every whatever it has in its own translation matrix with the strings that we have in here, and then it makes sure that that it issues properly pull requests and commits to that pull request in order to bring the new strings forward. Right, so once this is done and the pull request is there, and we merge everything in the docs and then we deploy, then all the documentation in any language will have the migrations up there, right? So if I want to be I'll be of a smart butt. What is migration in Greek? So let's see. Should be metamorphosis, I think. I'm just looking at the translator, guys, in case you were wondering. No, actually it's not. It's not immigration. It's migration. So we could use metavasi, which is the... Alright. So we can go here, translations. Where's the Greek thingy? And it should be in the... Where are they? There you go, meta topics JSON. So you can open this and you can see what you have. So use case, this one needs to be hidden because it's a URL. Performance again needs to be hidden because it's a URL. Use case, περίπτωση χρήσης, yeah, that's fine. So we can say yes. Performance is a policy. We can say yes. This one is a URL, so we're hiding it. And Vokura, we'll just leave it as Vokura. So there you go, save. And then I'll just approve it, and that's pretty much it. Now you will notice that this particular thing does not have any I'll just do this, does not have the migrations in here, and the reason it doesn't is because it hasn't finished the sync. So once that happens, alright, so I don't know what that is. So let's see, migrate. You see, there's no migrations yet. So once it finishes syncing in Crowdin, it will take a little bit because it is a big project either way. So let's go back to integrations, and here you see it's syncing slowly. Once it does sync, then then you're gonna see the migrations. So the only Greek I know is the movie Get Him to the Greek. I don't know what movie is that. I've never heard of that expression, to be quite frank with you. And what would the Greek guy do to you other than, I don't know, just play backgammon with you, drink coffee with you, eat gyros or something like that? What would we do? So yeah, that's the pretty much the whole thing that we need to do here. So this one is done, I think. Yeah, this one is done. Let me just copy this guy here. I really need to fix my terminal. It looks like poop. So that one will come later. So this has been resolved. Hangout commit. And then let's put that, it should be there, I guess. Why doesn't it, how do you link commits? Really? Get him to the Greek is a real... Okay. Alright, so let's see. Oh, Lord. Okay, there's pretty much nobody Greek in there. Okay, I'll look it up. I promise. Gosh. Okay, auto-linked references in URLs. So how do you... So hash, where is the commit? Commit URL. Oh, okay, so I need to put the whole thing. Or not. Let's see. Maybe that's how we need to put it here. Alright, let me just edit. So github.com, that should be Phalcon docs app, right? And then it's a different repository, and then we're gonna put the hash here because we're in the docs repository, so this is different. Let's see, did we do it? Yay, look at that. Woohoo! Alright, so it's linked there. So we fixed this. Let's close this guy. Let's click on thank you to. Very important. Okay, so that's done. Then we need this. Events related to delete event is left on the overview table. DB models events. Okay. Let's see what we have here. DB models events. So guys, if you want to talk about anything, just shoot, right? You know. Events related to delete event is left on overview table. Okay, so delete. So this is models events, and this is events. There you go, not deleted. This should be okay. Before delete. Alright, so this one looks fine. Did I fix this at some point? 10/18/19. Looks as if I fixed it at some point. Oh no, it's not this one, sorry. It's the DB models events. That's the one that we need. Here. Did I fix it recently? That's my point. Alright, 3.10.20. Okay, that's when I added the delete ones. So I fixed this, but I never updated the issue. So is there a way to copy the revision from here? What is this? History up to here. Anyway, I can't do this. So this has been resolved. It's a little pointy thing. So yeah, guys, whatever you want. I mean, we're just fixing some bugs here, just saying hi to everybody. All right, so this thing has finished here. The docs, so we should have a pull request here somehow. There you go, new crowd-in translations, like I told you. So crowd-in sends up translation here to the documents, and you'll probably be looking at, you see where it says DB models relationships, there's what we made a change earlier to the relationships. Some translations that are coming from the Greek part. Remember, I did something, and then again the models relationships. The problem is that I don't see the what you call it, the JS. Oh, there you go. Remember, we made this translation over there. I don't see the JSON files here. So it could probably be still lagging. It hasn't sent it over. So I'm just gonna wait until it does the whole thing, the whole sync. Actually, you know what? I might do this. I want to do a sync now. So let it force a sync again. So this one will actually bring again all the translations, and it will add them to this pull request. So you might end up with this pull request that doesn't have only 22 commits. It has something like 200. It's not uncommon. It does it for every single one of them. So once this is done, then we merge it, then we push upstream, and then the docs are being updated properly. Alright, so list of events and dispatcher events, says Lamlin. Okay, so dispatcher events, we gotta find it first. There's a dispatcher. Right, so there's the events, and there's the dispatcher. Okay, so we got, where's the other window? There they are, both of them are here. Okay, so minimize that. Okay, so apparently the dispatcher event and the events are not in sync. So these are the events here for the dispatcher. Let's make a little area here, and let's figure out where the events are here. Alright, so these are the controller actions. Getting. Should be close to the end, I guess. 404. Alright, so these are the events. We have. Oh, wow, okay. So after binding, after dispatch loop, after execute route, before dispatch, initialize. Okay. Here's an after initialize. So here's the interesting thing. Okay, so these two are not aligned, and we have to figure that out. Okay, so let's copy these and let's get a window here. All right, so these are the events. So let's see what we have and what we don't have. So after execute route is there, after dispatch is there, after dispatch loop is there, after initialize is not. And then we have before exception. That's correct. Before execute route, before dispatch is there, dispatch loop, before forward is missing, and before 404. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So after binding exists here, but it doesn't exist there. Initialize is here, but it's not really an event. And the after initialize and before forward, these are all missing. So what we need to do is go to our dispatcher and find where the dispatcher is. Lord. So fire. Okay, so we have before dispatch loop, that's one event. Before dispatch, we already have that. Before 404, before execute route, we got that. After initialize, that's the correct one. So this one needs to change to after initialize. And we need to move that here somewhere. Yeah, so after initialize. Alright, so after binding exists, so we don't have that in the other list. After execute route, that's correct. After dispatch and after dispatch loop. Okay, so these are all the events that have been initialized there. So let's see, MVC. There's the dispatcher. You guys are quiet. Alright, so let me do a fire here. Okay, so there is a before forward as well. There you go, I had it here. So it's the EF before. So that comes from the MVC dispatcher. So this one I will not be able to stop. Alright, that's good. And just so that I'm keeping you all on your toes. Alright, before exception, we got that. So this is the easiest way for me to figure out what events we have and what events we need. I just look straight up to the code and try and find the method fire, because that's when we fire events with the events manager, which we need to rewrite. Boo. All right, so this is before, and we need to go to the CLI as another one. There's the dispatcher here, and let's see whether we have a fire event here. There is one before exception. Actually, here in the before forward, what I'm gonna need to do is put MVC dispatcher, because that's where that is. Oh, nice, Radoslav. All right, Rude, have a good one, buddy. I mean, just come and go as much as you want, or as little as you want. This is just, to kind of like a little escape from the craziness of the virus. By the way, I have news for you guys. I heard from Dream. In case you guys remember, Dream has been helping us with Zephyr and Phalcon related bugs on the low level, and he's from China, and he sent me a message and he said, everything's okay, the family's okay, and he was saying that they're getting ready slowly. I don't know how fast that would happen, but they're getting ready to open the schools there. And bear in mind, China is way ahead of us in terms of how this thing, so they've peaked there and they're coming down. I don't know what would happen, but I just wanted to let you know that some Falconistas or Falconeers, or whatever you want to call it, are doing okay, even though in China. So let me get these guys here, all these, and just update the list of these things here. Alright, so we have A, B, C, D, E. This one would be dispatch and dispatch loop. Okay. And execute, that's fine. After initialize, we got it. So before exception and before execute route. So D happens before E, so let's move those up there. So dispatch loop, execute route, and exception. So we need forward and 404, and actually the only thing that we were missing was the after binding. That's really cool. Good night, Rude. Take care, buddy. So there you go. After binding is in the dispatcher. And let's do this. And then where's the forward thing? Here, dispatcher array, MVC dispatcher. Okay. So there you go. That should make it a little bit easier. It happens only in the MVC dispatcher. Do we have any events on the CLI app? I'm wondering. I don't remember. Let's see. Where's my documents? Application CLI. Do we have events here? And we do. this the... Okay, so this one works there. Alright, we don't need this guy anymore. Got that fixed up. So what does the issue say? The dispatcher does all events, same for both CLI and VC mode of the Phalcon for so this, and then let's close the issue because we got it. And what we need to do is cd for git that. So this one will go up there, and let's see. Okay, this looks okay. Is this? Oh, this is syncing again. I'll just leave it here. I'll just leave this as it goes along, and then once it's done, it will be redone. Debug bar in the future from the box. Maybe not right now. I know there is Snow Air. This guy has written a really good debug bar. I've used it in the past, and he was attaching really well to events, but there is an issue right now with our events manager, and creating a debug bar is a little bit difficult. I mean, that if you look at the code that guy Snow Air had to do, just to jump through hoops in order to be able to find what is going on in requests and responses, it was a little bit too much. Now, having said that, let's assume that we have the perfect scenario. You can put the events, you can attach to the events that you want, and the debug bar shows you everything. Yeah, absolutely, I would love to do that. The problem is, as always, as with everything, guys, that there's only 4 of us, right? So just to give you a quick overview, forgetting the craziness that we have with the Wuhan virus and God knows what you call that thing, right? For all of us, and pretty much everywhere through the world, schools are closed. So all the kids are home. They're driving all the parents mad. A lot of people started working from home, and it's not so apparent in our industry, the coding industry, because we could work from a laptop, but a lot of people actually lost their jobs, or they're not working anymore. Okay, so you have that. On top of this, the whole environment that goes on. Thank God I wasn't. I was okay. I never got sick. The kids were okay and all that stuff. To Anton Jeckerson, he's been told to work from home, so there's always the okay, what am I doing now kind of thing. And from the guys in in the Phalcon team, I'm the only one that has been working from home all the time. So it was a little bit of an adjustment for them. Now, luckily, Jefferson managed to go through it, power through it, and started working. Sergey has recently gotten a promotion from work. So, and he had some fires to fight with at work. Some serious stuff. We're talking about from 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. So Sergey has been missing in action because of work, right? On top of that, he has to work from home now, and his kids are at home. So you see the pressure piling up. And then you have Rude, who and this is hilarious. I shouldn't be laughing, but you can only laugh right now. He nearly got stuck in Austria with all these border closing and all that stuff. And when he went back, he had some issues with his landlord and the business that he's renting the place from. So he had to deal with all of that. I'm not going to go into details, but where I'm trying to go to is that it's upside down, everything. So right now we're kind of like struggling to keep up with whatever bugs we have and fix some things. I mean, Jefferson has been, or Anton has been doing a great job moving the migrations forward. I was just overwhelmed with stuff at work, so I didn't manage to push a lot of code up. A little bit, and a little bit with a recent Hangout of last week where we added some tests, and, taking care of a little bit of the documents today. But still, we have a lot of things that we would like to do. If you look at our this thing is still syncing. Yay! If you look at this part here, our major project, the roadmap, there's still a lot of things that I would like us to fix, right? So from this list here, 1, 2, 3 need to be fixed. So this one is documentation at the top that I just need to add some things into the documentation. There's a couple more documentation in this side. Sergey, whenever he has some time, he tries to work on some things. I actually got a ping earlier that he did manage to fix one of them, one of the Zephyr related bugs. It's a little bit of a low level. It's not an easy thing for us to pick up. And remember, I'm not a C programmer, right? So I will not be able to tell you where things happen. And then on top of that, we have all this, 111 different cards that we have to work on and keep on bringing it. I'm hoping that the last version, the next version, the 4.0.6, will be the last in the 4.0 series, and then we can jump on the 4.1. But in order to do that, we need to address a couple of Zephyr related bugs, not necessarily kind of like stopping us, but we need to make sure that they work. It has to do with private and public variables, and I think 2 or 3 of these cards here will be fixed once one of the bugs is fixed in Zephyr. But it's still things that you do. All of those that have external dependency, these are the ones that we need to fix with Zephyr. So some housekeeping, move CI, and so on and so forth. Now, after all this big blah blah blah, let's say that we introduce the bar, right? The Phalcon bar or any other project. Somebody has to maintain it, and we just have barely enough time to ourselves. So bringing one more project will be, come on, really, I need to. I don't have enough time. And then all of our wives are gonna throw us out of here, and this by no means is a complaint for the community, right? Everybody contributes as much or as little as they want to. That's that's a given, and we do it because just we want to, right? Everybody knows we don't make any money out of this. It's not something that maintains our families and all that. But it is a tool that we kind of like indirectly make money from because we use it at work. So it's an easy framework, very efficient and all that. And at the end of the day, you just use it in order to make your life easier and your applications faster. So that's how you get money out of it if you think about it. It helps you with your work. So yeah, one more thing to do. I don't know. I mean, maybe we can start something in the incubator, and maybe a couple of people might be very interested in contributing with it. I'm open to all suggestions, by all means. But definitely, to create a bar and a toolbar, we have to enhance our events. There is a problem that I have seen with events, and the problem is when it stops. All right, so let me explain that. All right, so you have the events and you have listeners, right? So let's assume that you have one of the events that Phalcon has. Let's pick one, the before execute route. All right. So let's say you attach a listener and you attach it to the before execute route. And let's say that you attach a second listener that also attaches to before execute route, and then a third listener that also attaches to before execute route. One might ask, hey, why do you have 3 listeners to the same event? You might want to split your code into smaller chunks, and each of those little listeners contains an if in there, so a small conditional, and you really don't want to have a big one, right? Now, so in the before execute route, you could be returning true or false, right? And the idea is that if you return false, the execution will stop. It will not do that. Well, that's kind of true. It's not 100% true. It is kind of true because it works, that what I just said works only if you have one listener attached to one event. If you have more than one listener attached to exactly the same event, then that doesn't work. Because it will go through the first event, the first listener, it will run the event. Let's say you got true. All right, great. And then it will go to the second one, and it will run to the second listener. And then let's say you got false. But then it will execute the next listener. All right? And if that next listener returns true, then the false that you had in the number 2 is wiped out. So you don't get the stop execution. It only works if your very last listener returns false, or if you have only one listener, one event. So that is a problem, and we definitely need to address it. I wanna expand the listeners and the events in such a way that you could extremely easily just create events. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I haven't seen that code. There is a good foundation with what our code has already with the events. You can pass a lot of objects, and there's a lot of hook points, but I would definitely like to have a lot more hook points so that people can just attach things, right? No, it's not a special events listener only for the sidebar. It's to be able to attach, well, yeah, kind of. Let's say that you have one listener that is attached to different events. The point is to actually go to the events. Now for let's say the easy parts. Let's say the DB, the database, right? Where is it? Nope. Where are the events? There are a couple of events here. Give me just a sec, I'll bring them up. There they are. All right, so let's assume that we're looking at these events, right? And let's assume that you want to measure your database queries. What I would say is you're gonna concentrate on these points, on these ones here, and potentially what you could do is you could attach yourself to the after query, or let's say commit transaction or begin transaction, and so on and so forth, right? So by attaching there in the database, part, you can start getting the number of queries that executed in this request. So that's a bit of a metric that you can have. If you go and attach yourself to before handle request or after handle request, or maybe before start module, boot not so much, view render, show some view statistics. So there's plenty of events that you can attach to, so you can create your listener, your toolbar listener, if you like, and then you can attach to various events, all of it, or you can create smaller listeners that attach to different events. But the point that I'm trying to make is you can get some information right now, but it's not really easy to do that. You really need to dive in deep here and have a really solid implementation of your toolbar or of your plugin so you can get the proper metrics. Where things become really difficult, it's not so much with the database. It's when you're talking about HTTP. And if you look here, there's not that much support in terms of HTTP. So you only see after authorization resolve and before authorization resolve. Well, big deal. What if I don't have authorization? Well, I got nothing from the request, right? And then when you do the response, you can do the before send headers and after send headers. Well, there's no such thing as before sending the request, before sending the response, and after sending the response. There's nothing like that. So we need to enhance this even more, the framework, so that you can get more and more better stats, if you like, better bits and pieces. There are a lot of things that you can do, you can attach to, but not so much as you would have with other toolbars in the market, so to speak. There's a lot of bits and pieces here that you can do, but like I said, there is some work to be done. I'm not trying to kind of like remove the enthusiasm, but there are limitations. You go down that route, you are gonna stop at some point because you cannot offer more. There's things missing from the framework in terms of events being thrown, and I definitely want, as we move ahead towards V5 or V4.1, I definitely want to enhance the events to the point that you can have a really, really nice application with just tiny little bits and pieces, and then throw a lot of events. I definitely do not want Phalcon to become a Zen framework, where they created a more event-driven approach, which was really awesome, but it was slow as can be. And they were even thinking about creating their events manager in Zephyr or pure C implementations. So performance is definitely one of the things that we always keep our eye on, so that we don't slow the framework down. If we slow the framework, might as well just use a PHP one. So, and PHP is getting faster and faster, so. All right. Oh, this thing is still sending stuff. That's our Hangout. That's documentations. Alright, v4 all goal is returning 4 pages. I do not know about that. And these two, I need to do the documentation. In case you guys missed it, there's 2 new components inside the 4.1 branch. And this is the data mapper query and data mapper PDO. Let me quickly show you this. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but might as well, because we're moving towards that direction. So I want you to have a quick idea of what's going on. So this is the 4.1 branch, which will be coming up at some point. So in the Phalcon namespace, where we have everything, you will see a brand new namespace called Data Mapper. And in there we have PDO and query. So PDO is a wrapper for PDO. Okay, so I keep on saying so all the time. It also has a connection locator interface. The connection, it has a profiler. It also has a decorator. Meaning that if you use Phalcon, for argument's sake, let's say you have a CMS or an application, and you want to kind of like attach a side application for that. So that other application could be WordPress, could be Magento, it could be anything you want. Right? Let's assume that that other application creates a PDO connection to your database. You can take that PDO connection and you can dump it into this decorated, this class here. So you can dump it in there and it becomes a Phalcon connection immediately. Right? And this is the data mapper PDO. It is kind of like a supercharged wrapper, but a very thin one around PDO, allowing you to do all the things that you want to do. There's a few things that I would have liked to do, but I haven't been able to because we have some limitations for now. And what I wanted was to offer the ability to get the results asynchronously. So if you're doing fetch and fetch all, just like you do in PDO, I would have liked it to be an asynchronous so that you have better memory management, but we're not there yet. For now, it's just fetch, fetch all, fetch column, and God knows what. And then once you have this particular connection, then you can connect it to whatever you want to connect to. Now, where do you use that connection? That one will be used in, hopefully, and I'm saying hopefully because right now it's a little bit of uncharted territory. I want to be able to use this connection with our models. And the reason I want to go down this route is because I don't want to have all these crazy dialects that we have, and all the things that we're missing that are common for all of the different dialects, whether this is SQL or MySQL, Postgres, or SQLite. But because one has it and the other one doesn't, none of them have it. I'll give you an example. There's group concat in MySQL, but that doesn't work for Postgres. So we don't have that in our dialect because it's not kind of like common in everything. So by just removing that dialect craziness that we have right now and putting everything on PDO allows you to pretty much do anything you want with your SQL statement and then just move on ahead. Now, if you decide to change your connection from let's say MySQL to Postgres, and you have used syntax and methodology and methodologies that do not exist in Postgres, well, it's not going to work. But if you're pretty much on the same thing, you're going to you're gonna be able to change your driver so long as you change your DSN, your PDO DSN. And anyway, so you get everything from the PDO factory, and that's your connection. And that's our dream, to get everything there. We'll see. And then we have the query here, and what you could do is you could create a query generator. So this creates raw SQL. So let me see. Let me go to the test for just a sec, and I'll show you what I mean. They're in the database, data mapper, query, select. I don't know which one to get. Let me get one. The columns, I guess. So pretty much you're creating a new query factory. You already have your connection. You just say, okay, from the factory, give me a new select with this connection. And then you just say from select, I want columns inv ID, inv CST ID, and count from CO invoices. And that's my SQL. And then that will execute to using the connection that you do. So right now, if let's say you use the 4.1 branch, let's say you really want to go bleeding edge, you could potentially use, without using any models and anything like that, you could potentially use your the data mapper PDO connection to connect to your database. You can use the data mapper query as a query builder, and then you could use one of the methods. You can send one to another, and then you could use one of your custom classes to get results back with that, because there is a fetch column or something, or fetch object, fetch object and fetch objects in the connection. So you could populate an object the way you want. So that's how you get your results. Now, you're going to have to do all the legwork. You're going to have to do your inserts. You're going to have to do your deletes. You're going to have to do all your escaping and all that stuff, which is fine. But I'm just saying that it's not that far back. There is some work that needs to be done, but we're getting there. It allows you to do the query builder here. It allows you to do flags. So you can put, let's say, low priority or top or stuff like that. There's where equals. You can just do different where statements. So yeah, these are things that we've been doing, and this one was finished last month. So there's a few more left here. I need to create a table class. Alright, so I need to create a schema class. So that would be the class that will interrogate your table and figure out your table name, your table fields. Each field is what? Whether it's an integer or Boolean or God knows what. This is called the metadata right now. Okay. So that one would have to happen, and then based on that, the idea is that all that metadata will be incorporated inside your model. So there won't be any crazy metadata checking anymore. And all the issues that we used to have, for instance, the metadata folder could not be written. Sometimes you put the metadata inside folders, and you cannot store it in Redis or something. You haven't updated your metadata, but you did make changes to your models. As such, the changes to the models are not reflected in your application, and you have all sorts of errors. and then you have to empty the metadata cache, and so on and so forth. So all that will end up inside each model, and I'm going to work with Anton to have that functionality so the models can be refreshed or updated using the dev tools. And as such, you will have a model, let's say invoices, that would pretty much tell Phalcon what this thing is. So by just having the model, you're gonna influence, if you like, or not necessarily influence, you're gonna define how the framework understands the table. And also what I want to introduce is I want to introduce also automatic filtering. Not 100% here. I've done something like that in our current job where I am with my colleagues. We have automatic filtering of values, whether this is a get or a set. So whenever you try to inject data into the database using the model, we know that, for argument's sake, the name is a string, right? And the ID is an integer. So before these are being stored in the database, before they're being sent, they're being casted or they're being sanitized. Something like that. I want to be able to offer a lot of functionality where the model itself will allow you to do certain validations on a low level, not as we have it right now, where you just say, okay, this number should be, this username should be unique, or this number should be greater than or less than. But I also want it not to be a validator. I want it to be a sanitizer as well. So a lot of ideas here, but pretty much the workflow is we need to have this schema generator or discovery, if you like. Then we're going to need a table mapper class where it would actually map with where is each table, and then pretty much we're going to need the ORM that would actually go and do whatever you need to do. So yeah, quite a bit of work. A lot of clicks and clicks and clicks. So yeah, that's where we're at. And I think I have them all listed here somewhere. We got to do something about these NFRs. I gotta go and clean them up because these things keep on growing, and I just need to make sure that everything stays nice and tidy. If we have new feature requests, what we do is we close it and immediately, and we go here to the NFR. I've mentioned this numerous times, and sorry, I'm not trying to be condescending, but this is where we actually put the new NFRs, the new feature request, and people go and vote and just say, okay, I want this support for embedded blocks or embedded forums or whatever. To give you an idea, when I finished the what was it, the query builder, that was the highest requested thing from Phalcon in terms of votes. So I don't remember where it was. It should be, hold on a sec, should be in a pull request. Delete a make file. So this is the lazy loader fetch column. There you go, data map or query builder, right? So this one related to this. It related to something else. There was an older issue, really older issue. Seriously, it was just in the hundreds. I mean, you see here we have 14734, so this is 14,000. Well, that issue initially was really old, man. Why can't I find it? Dang it. Anyhow, I'll probably find it after we hang up here. But seriously, the issue was ancient, similar to this request list, the vote that I'm saying. You see, this issue here is 329. Okay, so it was created 15th January 2013. And we need support of embedded blocks side other blocks. Again, embedded forms, very high in the request. Oh wow, look. Alright, so the sync finished here. If you recall, we waited for that, and I did tell you it's gonna bring all the meta. You see all the meta things. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna squash and merge this. So we merged whatever Crowdin sent us. We kind of like merged it into our code. And now we're going back here to the repo. We're going to the 4.0. We're doing a git pull. All right, brought everything in, and we'll go back. And this is the sub module that we need to deploy. And then send it upstream. All right. And if we go to Netlify, you're gonna see that it actually started deploying here, started building the whole thing. So it pretty much downloads everything. Yeah, that's fine. We don't really care about that. Okay, so it did the. Oh whoa, what was that? Okay, I just need to fix this. That's fine. It's the MNMN. I need this. I need to fix this part. That's fine. Usually what happens, just to give you a quick heads up, what happens when the languages come in, where's a new language, it comes in with its code. So for Greek it will be EL and the GR would be capitals, but I don't want to mix cases. I want everything lowercase. So in Crowdin we kind of like force everything to be lowercase, and this was when we didn't. So it got I just need to correct that. But right now it downloaded all the documents that I have, all the documents that I need from the repo and the submodule. And then once that is done, it says here generating. So in a few minutes, it's gonna keep on doing that. So it's building the HTML right now, right? Every page is its own HTML page. Once that is done, then what it will do is it will check out all the pages that we have and all the pages that have been generated, and it's going to create a hash of each of those pages, and it's going to compare them. And the hashes that are not equal, it's going to upload those files into the relevant server that handles this. Usually this one takes around 5-10 minutes tops, and that one would make our documentation run. It will update it. So then you will see the migrations menu. Should, anyway. So let's go to the docs. Okay, so this is where we're at. It should appear here under development tools. Oh, well, look here. That was a previous deployment that happened that kept the English menu. So now what we're doing is we're waiting for the non-English menu, because if I flip it over to let's say the Greek one, I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be there. So εργαλεία ανάπτυξης, there you go, it's not here. Alright, DevTools and debugging, migrations are not here. So if I go here, you see it's debug. So what we're doing is we're waiting for that pull request to come from Crowden in order to update all the other JSON files and update all the languages. That's why this one is going on, and that's why we're waiting for this part. Okay, guys, we're nearly 2 hours blabbering here. My God, I still have 9 watching. I didn't put everybody to sleep. And I know Rude went to sleep. So I think we're just gonna wrap it up now. Maybe have another hangout, kind of like towards the end of the week. I know I said we're gonna have one over the weekend, but it got really busy here, and I wasn't able to get online that much. So let's play it by ear. Let's have a look at what's going on. In the meantime, guys, do you need anything? Any questions whatsoever? Silence. Probably everybody's asleep. Okay, well, I don't see that much in the community. We need to say good night. Thank you, Radoslav. Thank you, Oleg. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Shell or Chell, Bruno, Edgar's. Who else was here? I'm just scrolling up just to see who was there. Of course, we said Radoslav, Oleg, Rude. Thank you, guys. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves, your loved ones, and as we say, keep calm and continue coding. Alright, from the US, have a good one, guys. Talk to you all in Discord or forum and all that stuff. Okay, good night. Thank you.